Welcome to The Romantic Side of Suspense with Sarah Hemmerker. In each episode, she'll talk with your favorite romantic suspense authors. They will take you behind the scenes of the writing process, giving excerpts from their writing, and share stories about their writing life.
Alaska Police Protector by Megan Short. To save a child, he has to risk his own life. When a minivan slides off the road into an icy lake, Officer Samuel Miller narrowly rescues a woman and child from certain death. Only Rachel Harding insists the crash is no accident. It's eerily similar to how her sister and brother-in-law recently died. As the unexplained attacks escalate, Samuel is determined to protect Rachel and her orphan niece at all costs. But when they make a shocking discovery, their investigation becomes even more dangerous, and survival may be impossible.
On this episode of The Romantic Side of Suspense, I'm talking with Megan Short, an Australian author of inspirational romantic suspense novels. And I know we're going to have a delightful time talking about writing and all things romantic suspense. So welcome to my show, Megan.
Thanks so much for having me, Sarah.
So why romantic suspense? Why did you, what about this genre, which, I think is just the best genre ever, of course. But why did you want to start writing romantic suspense?
Well, it's a good question. I originally started out writing screenplays, but then I switched to novels, and I really wanted to write romance because I love reading romance. But even when I tried to write a contemporary romance, someone always ended up dying. So the suspense element became inevitable.
Yeah, isn't that the truth? I did try to write a straight romance, and I love straight romances. This is not knocking that genre at all, but I can't do it. I'm always like, okay, why aren't they running from someone? Who was trying to kill them? Oh, wait, nobody. So
Exactly. You understand.
Yeah, I do understand, and I love that. Loved having the hero and heroine kind of find out why someone's after them as the book unfolds. So I enjoy that and how they fall in love along the way. It's just so much more fun, I think, to write it that way. So glad to hear you enjoy that as well. But it's not easy. It's just not easy writing the romantic suspense. What do you find the hardest part of writing this genre?
Well, funnily you ask, because I actually find the romance part the hardest. But the most satisfying. So from the other side, I love putting together the mystery, the whodunit. I'm kind of a die-hard fan of mysteries from a young age, so that's the most fun part for me. But trying to weave a realistic romance plot in amongst all of that danger doesn't come so naturally. So especially when the time frame is short, like a few days. So how do you go from 0 to love in 3 days without feeling realistic? So it's always impressed me that category romance writers can do that so successfully. So now I kind of just let the characters work that out, and my editor's very good at calling out my shortcomings in that area, so I'm very grateful for her.
Yeah, it's funny because I often will, especially I've written many books now, but especially in my early writing, I would focus on the mystery too, the mystery and the suspense, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute. In my head, they're falling in love, but they're not falling in love on the page. Oops.
Yeah.
So I have to go back, and now I feel it does get a little easier to kind of weave those moments in. But sometimes I'm still like, did I put enough in? Is it realistic enough? Are they really in love? By the end of the story, however that looks like. But yeah, it can be tricky to get that love in there and everything. So I'm glad I'm not the only one who struggles with that.
You're not.
So what about the accuracy of your books? How do you ensure that your books are accurate? What kind of research or people do you talk to?
I do way too much research, can I just say? It's almost a form of procrastination for me. So for my first books, they're set in Cordova, Alaska. I actually traveled there some time ago, so I was familiar with the area. In my latest book, Alaskan Police Protector, I've been everywhere that my characters go, including into the middle of Prince William Sound. So photos I've taken have done a bit of the heavy lifting when it comes to description. But since I was there such a long time ago, it's changed quite a bit. Alaska does that. So I did have to do more Google Earth and local research to make sure everything was accurate for today. For other action scenes, I watch a lot of YouTube videos, like for helicopter crashes, being plunged into frozen water, the impact of a shotgun, and so on. If I don't know something, I just ask. I'm on Crime Scene Writers, which is a group where there are FBI agents and other law enforcement officers who are happy to help with questions. So thankfully, I also have a lot of friends in real life with niche interests. So in Australia, it's not so easy to go to the shooting range. There's a lot of bureaucracy. So thankfully, one of my best friends is an avid ballistics expert. He's helped a lot with the realistic shooting scenes. And I also have an experienced paddler for kayaking, canoeing, and an amateur champion drifting driver, among others. So I guess that's how I do my research. I just find the right people and a lot of YouTube.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I don't know how people wrote before the internet. I mean, seriously. Because, you can Google anything and find almost any, like, how-to on YouTube, which is a little scary, I must admit, on some level.
For sure.
But on the other hand, and like you said, like these crime writer groups, and which I'm a part of as well, and you could just get, and people are just so willing to help, which I love, just to be able to ask. No question is too dumb to ask, because we really want to get it right, readers. We do. But sometimes you might think it's wrong, but usually it's right, because, like TV, they don't get it all right all the time. So just remember that. Remember that. So what about when you were a kid? What did you want to be? And did you get to be that person?
Well, I wanted to be a writer, so yes.
Yes,
that dream did come true eventually. I have this adorable little photo my mum took of me writing stories at my desk when I was about 3 years old. I wasn't a prodigy, so I'm sure it was just scribbles, but they meant something to me. But yeah, that's sort of how long I've been writing. So everyone who's out there who's still, dreamed of being a writer and isn't yet, well, you are a writer. You just need to keep going.
Yes, no, I agree. That was kind of me too. I always wanted to be a writer. I always knew that's what I wanted to do, but it took me a while to actually write books. I did writing. That was my career as a magazine writer, and worked for trade associations and stuff on their publications and things like that. But it took me a while to get to the book part of it. And I'm like, why did I take so long? To write the books. But this is what I really love. One day I'll be able just to write books, but that day is not yet. It's coming. It's coming. No, it's coming. But we couldn't be writers without our wonderful readers. So what is one of your favorite ways to connect with these lovely readers that we have?
Yeah, they're amazing. Well, with the time difference, most of my readers are actually in America, but I'm here in Australia. So in-person or contemporaneous sort of connection's a bit challenging, depending on the time of the year. So I do rely quite heavily on my newsletter. I love writing to my readers and getting such wonderful support in return. It's evolved over the years, and I'm sure it will continue to do so, but it's just one way I really enjoy connecting with them.
Yeah, I love that. And readers, if you want to connect with Megan, you can find that in the notes with this podcast on how to do that. So be sure to give her some American love down there in the land down under. So we love our international writers as well. So we're going to close our time with let's hear who your favorite romantic suspense writer is, and why is it this person?
It's really hard to just name one. Now, I am a fairly new Christian, so I'm new to the inspirational romantic suspense scene. So if you'd asked me a few years ago, I would have said Linda Howard, hands down, because I love her writing style and her original ideas. But now that I'm really only reading the inspirational romantic suspense, many of the authors are new to me. So I would have to say Jessica R. Patch is one of my favourites, and also Maggie K. Black. As a result, I was so excited to find out my debut is included in a box set with one of Maggie K. Black's books. But for both of them, I just really like their writing style. Both are really professional. I've learned a lot from reading their books, and I love that Jessica R. Patch is sort of transitioning into psychological thrillers, which is somewhere that I sort of want to go as well. So, yeah, that's a long
they're both delightful. I mean, I've met Jessica personally, and she's she's delightful. I'm so excited for her success, and I've read some of Maggie's books as well. And yeah, there's just but you're right, there's just so many, and I'm like, we can still take more. So, if you're thinking of writing romantic suspense, it's the best genre to be in, especially the inspirational romantic suspense market. And we're a bunch of writers who love to support one another, so which I also love about the writing community, the Christian writing community especially, is that we are all to support one another and to help one another, and because there's enough readers out there to buy our books, all our books.
Oh, for sure. No, I agree. That's one thing I do love about this community. It's so supportive, even to someone that's so many miles away.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Megan. I really appreciate you sharing about your writing, about your books on my show. So thank you for joining me.
Thanks, Sarah. I'm so happy to be here.
Now an excerpt from Alaska Police Protector by Megan Short. The distinctive sound of a car leaving the road and hurtling through the railing toward the waters of Eyak Lake echoed through Officer Samuel Miller's cabin. Normally that happened when ice slicked the road and someone took the corner too fast. No ice today, at least not when he'd driven home from his shift in the early hours. Whoever had plowed through the railing might not have much time. At the southern flank of Alaska, the sparsely populated town of Cordova lay within the Chugach National Forest, fringed by Orca Inlet. First responders were thin on the ground, so the occupants of the vehicle had little chance of anyone else helping in time. Samuel pulled on his heavy coat and snow boots, checked the battery on his radio, slung his rifle and a length of bungee rope over his shoulder, and pushed open the back door. His husky, Bruce, one eye brown, one blue, thwacked his wagging tail against Samuel's leg as he bolted past and leaped into the half-foot deep snow. The light snowfall brought with it the promise of the long winter ahead, but Bruce could still find a fattened hare to chase. Bruce! The puppy came to heel with a reluctant snuffle. The obedience had been hard won, with Samuel having wrestled the 70-pound bundle of fur into submission until he'd accepted Samuel as the alpha. They raced through the fragrant yellow cedars toward the road, Bruce panting in anticipation at his heels. Samuel burst through the trees onto the asphalt and pulled to a halt. A silver minivan hung precariously over the edge of the road. The drop wasn't significant, but a long enough dip in the icy lake meant hypothermia. No skid marks, no smell of burnt rubber. What had happened? He reached for his radio. The volunteer fire department carried the right equipment to do an extraction. A child screamed, and adrenaline coursed through Samuel's veins. Children had even less of a chance in the icy conditions. He couldn't wait for backup. He had to get them out now. Samuel clambered over the flattened safety rail and stood within a few feet of the vehicle. Any movement could dislodge the snow packed under the chassis. Help is here! Don't move! His breath puffed out in clouds when he spoke. Thankfully, the stubble protected his face from the frigid air. Samuel moved as close as he dared to peer into the rear window. The driver sat slumped in the front seat. He couldn't make out much more. A little girl in a red bonnet continued to yell unintelligibly. She must be terrified. Hold on! I'll get you out! Thankfully, the minivan sported a tow ball, which should secure the vehicle until help arrived. Found and secured the other end to the base of the railing. The railing creaked when he tightened the knots. Might not hold for long, but it'd buy him some time. He stepped toward the side door and raised his voice. Can you unclip your seatbelt? Yes, the little girl's voice wobbled. Great. Unclip and come toward me. Nice and slow. The child's movement rocked the minivan, and Samuel's gut clenched. She whimpered. You're doing great. I'm going to open the door, and then you need to jump into my arms. Can you do that? Okay. The bravado entered her voice, and the wobble steadied. Tough kid. Samuel wrenched open the van door, and the girl tumbled into his arms. Just in time. The movement caused the van to rock forward, and the barrier rasped and moaned. And Rachel! The girl's eyes practically bulged. You have to save her! He lowered her to the ground. If he didn't play this right, she'd panic. He needed her calm so he could determine any injuries to her or her aunt. Hey, it's okay. I'm going to get your aunt out right away. What's your name? Katie. Nice to meet you, Katie. I'm Sam, and this is Bruce. You like dogs? Katie nodded, reaching to grasp Bruce and hold him for comfort. Her face appeared white and cold. Samuel peeled off his outer jacket and wrapped it around her tiny frame. Although she shook, her pupils returned to a normal size. Hopefully, she'd remain that way. Great. How about you and Bruce hang out back here, and I'll go ahead and get your aunt, huh? Will she be okay? Samuel squeezed her shoulder. She'll be fine. I'll get her out in no time. People die in car wrecks. Samuel raised his eyebrows. Sometimes. He considered the situation and remembered her bravado. You know a lot of things, Katie? Yeah, heaps. I like that confidence, kid. Tell me, was your aunt asleep when she drove off the road? Katie's face bunched in a frown. No, we were singing Noah's Ark. Something happened and then her head hit the steering wheel. Okay, thanks, that's real helpful. A head injury, probably concussion. Samuel turned back to the task at hand. His radio crackled. Backup would be 30 minutes plus. The truck was already attending the job in progress. Bring the paramedics with you. He needed to get Aunt Rachel out before the railing gave way. The minivan's side door remained open. The driver's side door hung over the edge. Should he risk climbing in? Not much choice. To his right, some large rocks lay in a pile. That'd work. He smashed the rear window with a smaller stone and it shattered. He dislodged the remaining glass, then heaved a couple of boulders into the back of the van. The ballast might buy him some time. He stole in through the open door and perched on the back seat next to Katie's booster. The van creaked with his weight. Rachel?
Thanks for listening to The Romantic Side of Suspense with Sarah Hammerker. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a review. You can sign up to receive notifications of upcoming podcasts and listen to previous editions at sarahhammerkerfiction.com.